Upchuck Summer by Joel L. Schwartz. 9. Are you going to ask a girl to go out with you to the boat tonight in a boat? Asked Fred. If they're lucky, I said. How about you? I don't know yet. I know someone who would be perfect for you, Fred. Who? Carolyn, I said seriously. Carolyn, yelled Fred. You mean Moby Blumenthal? The boat would probably sink. Someone would have to take her out in a barge. She's got a good personality. All fat girls have good personalities. God had to give them something. How about Amy? Amy? The cute one with the short brown hair. Nah, she's not my type. I think she's really cute. Maybe I'll ask her out. Hey, maybe she has a cute girlfriend for you, so we could go out in the boat together. Hey, that's a great idea. At least we'll have each other to talk to if the girls turn out to be duds. What are you going to wear? I don't know. What are you going to wear? I don't know. Do you think this shirt goes with these jeans? I don't know. How about these sneakers and this belt? I don't know. What do you know? I don't know. You're a really big help, I said. You might think I was asking for something complicated. I just couldn't decide for myself. Should I wear the jeans and a t-shirt or the khakis and a sweatshirt? They both looked good. I wish my mom were here. She would know what to pick. Oh my God, I hope nobody heard me think that. I'd be laughed right out of the bunk. Strike out that last thought. I know how to decide. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and out goes Y-O-U. The jeans win, so I will pick this one. The khakis win unless I decide to pick the other jeans. And this could go on all night. Khakis, I must pick this one. Jeans, now khakis, finally jeans. Richie, why are you staring at your clothes? What's that, Fred? Why are you staring at your clothes? I wasn't staring at my clothes. I just saw you staring at your clothes, moving your hand back and forth. What are you talking about? Forget it. You only have 5 minutes to get dressed, and if you're not ready, I'm not waiting. So leave. See if I care. I really did care, but I didn't like the way Fred was getting on my case. Why is he bugging me so much about staring? I wasn't staring. I picked up my jeans and pulled them on quickly. Let's see now. Do I want to smell herbal or unscented? Should I have the wet look or the dry look? Maybe I'll use what Joe Namath uses. No, that Ralph Lauren stuff is nice. Or maybe I'll mix the two and come up with an aroma of my own. Richie, the smell of distinction. It makes a 12-year-old boy smell like I don't want to smell. I'm not going to use anything. The t-shirt and sneakers followed. I was just putting the final touches on my hair when everyone was ready to leave. I lagged a little behind the group because I didn't want Fred to think he could boss me around. I wondered what was bugging Fred today. I really couldn't come up with anything. When I arrived at the lake, the first thing I did was to get some food and find a spot where I could eat and look over the girls. Mind if I join you? Asked Fred. No, sit down. The view is great from here. I hoped he wouldn't continue to act obnoxious. Hey, Fred, check out the girl over there next to Amy. The skinny one? Skinny? She is not skinny. You don't think that girl in the brown shorts is skinny? How would you like being with her tonight? Nah, she's not my type. Why not? I don't know. Well, how do you know she's not your type? I don't know. I just know. Okay. How about the girl next to her? She's ugly. Ugly? Yeah, she looks like the Clearasil poster girl. Okay, then. Who do you like? I don't know. Listen, Richie, I have a good idea. How about if you ask Amy if she has any cute girlfriends for me, and that's who I'll go out with? Why don't you ask Amy yourself? Why should I ask her if she's your girlfriend? My girlfriend? I've never talked to her. Besides, you're the one that wants to go out with her girlfriend, not me. What's the matter, Richie? Afraid to ask? Me afraid? That's a laugh. I don't see you running over to ask. I'd ask for you if you were my girlfriend. And besides, I'm still hungry, and I want another hamburger. I want another one too, and maybe a piece of corn. Okay, Richie, let's flip a coin. One flip, the loser has to ask. Okay, call it in the air. Heads. Tails. Richie, you ask. Let me see that. You cheated. What's fair is fair, unless, of course, you're chicken. Who are you calling chicken, Fred? I ain't no chicken. But first, I still want that other hamburger. Now, let's see. What should I say? Hi, my name is Richie. What's yours? No, too corny. Hi, my name is Richie. Can you row a boat? Yuck. Hi, my name is Richie. Since this is your first year here at camp, how would you like to take a moonlit tour of the camp by boat with me? Hey, that sounds great. I can hear it all now. Oh, Richie, that would be wonderful. By the way, if you have a girlfriend who is as sensational looking as you, who would like to go out with another good-looking guy. We could go out double. Michelle would be perfect. Michelle, yes, the tall blonde over there by the... Richie, are you done with your hamburger yet? What? Are you going to ask her today? Sure, Fred, just don't rush me. The thing will be over before you decide. I'm going. As I walked toward Amy, I practiced what I was going to say. Hello, my name is Richard. Since this is your first year, there was no more time to practice. There I was, standing in front of Amy and two other girls. She looked up and my mind went blank. My tongue felt fat and heavy. Beads of sweat formed on my forehead, and I wondered if my protection was still working. Then the letters H and I came into my mind in a flash, and I blurted, "Hi!" Amy seemed startled at first by the outburst, but she didn't let it stop her from replying, "Hi! My name is Richard," appeared in my mind. As it did, I said, my name is Richie. Hi, Richie, my name is Amy. Hi, Amy, my name is Richie. It came out again, and I felt a little embarrassed. Amy giggled a little. I know, you just said that. Listen, Amy, how would you like to go for a boat ride with me tonight? Without any hesitation, she said, Sure. Richie, would you mind if we went out with somebody else? Mind? I think it's a great idea. Great. I have a girlfriend who I'm dying to fix up with my cousin. Your cousin? Yes, my cousin is in your bunk. He is? What's his name? Chuck. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This must be a dream. No, a nightmare. I wanted to roll the clock back 2.5 hours and start over again. Chuck is your cousin? Look, there he is over there. Chuck, come over here. I want to introduce you to someone. Chuck is your cousin. Chuck is your cousin, I repeated. Chuck was coming toward us now. I looked over at Fred, hoping he would get me out of this, but a puzzled look appeared on his face as he motioned. What the hell is going on? Hi, cuz. Hi, Richie. What's doing? Hi, Chucky. How would you like to join Richie and me and my girlfriend Marcia for a ride on the lake? No thanks, Amy. I might get sick in the boat. In that case, I said quickly, maybe you'd better stay here. I wouldn't want you to be sick. Oh, Chucky, don't be a party pooper. You won't get sick. The water looks a little rough tonight, I said. Maybe you better sit this one out. Don't listen to him. Look at how calm and peaceful the lake looks. Come on, let me introduce you to Marcia, and then we can pick out a boat. Marcia, this is my cousin Chucky. Chucky, this is my girlfriend Marcia. Marcia, Richie, Richie, Marcia. You pick out a boat. I'll be right there, I said, as I walked over in Fred's direction. What's happening, Richie? What girl did I get? Fred, you are not going to believe this, but Amy is Chucky's cousin. His what? His cousin. And I'm going to be in a boat with Chuck. If you can't help me come up with some excuse fast. Tell them you broke your arm and you can't row. They won't believe that. Tell them you have food poisoning. There was a tapeworm in the corn. Be serious. Richie, hurry up. We're waiting for you, yelled Amy, Marcia, and Chuck in unison. Fred, help me. Richie, hurry up. Fred! Richie, they yelled, doomed. I'm coming, I yelled in disgust. I glanced back at Fred. He had a smirk on his face, and I wanted to run back and relocate his nose. Ask me to help you out sometime, I thought. I'll help you just like you helped me. How do I get myself into these things? I feel like the comic strip character that walks around with a black cloud over his head. I didn't want to rush things between Amy and myself, so I managed to force a smile on my face. Or I didn't want to ruin things between Amy and myself, so I managed to force a smile on my face by the time I got to the boat. Chuck and Marcia were already sitting in the back of the boat. Amy was waiting for me on the dock. You row first, and later, when Chucky rows, you and I can sit in the back together. This girl really has good ideas, I thought. It's not her fault that Chuck is her cousin. In fact, I really didn't mind rowing, because it would give me a chance to show Amy my muscles. Things didn't start out that bad. Marcia was asking Chuck some questions about himself, and he was responding with dumb answers, but I expected that. For some unknown reason, it was much easier for me to talk to Amy, and I was even able to come up with some good lines that made her laugh out loud. Then Chuck interrupted me to say he had a nosebleed. Why and how it happened, I don't know. Oh my God, he yelled, my nose is bleeding. And he began to jump up and down, and by the way he was acting, you might think he was hemorrhaging to death and had only a few minutes to live. What should I do? It won't stop. Somebody do something quick, screamed Amy. Just what I needed, a hysterical girl to go along with a bleeding weirdo. Calmly, I told him to sit down and put his head back. If I lean back, I'll fall out of the boat. What a perfect solution, I thought. No, Chucky, listen. Put your head on Marcia's lap and press on either side of the bridge of your nose with your thumb and index finger. Chuck had hardly put his head down when he popped up. The blood is running down my throat and it tastes horrible. Oh, Chucky, are you all right? Said Amy. It's making me sick, he moaned. Be calm, I said calmly. I'm going to throw up. If you throw up, so will I, said Marcia. I can feel it coming. Richie, do something, shouted Amy. If you throw up, so will I, shouted Marcia again. I can feel it coming, screamed Chuck. Everyone be calm, I yelled. God damn it, everyone shut up and listen. Now, Chuck, you change seats with Amy. That way, if you throw up, you can do it by yourself over the end of the boat. In the meantime, take deep breaths. I can feel it coming. He said, I'm afraid to move. I'll fall in. That's what I figured. You can't breathe and walk at the same time, I thought. Keep breathing deeply and give me your hand. Oh, Chucky, be careful, Amy yelled in his ear. If you throw up, so will I, said Marcia. I started to lead Chuck past me. He stopped, his face turning a pale green. It's coming now, Richie. I can't stop it. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply, I yelled. It's come. And with that, Chuck rushed to the side of the boat where I was standing. His sudden movement surprised me as he brushed by. I lost my balance and fell backwards into the cold, muddy water. I scrambled to the surface, only to come face to face with Chuck hanging over the side, vomiting. Chucky, are you all right? Said Amy. If you throw up, so will I, said Marcia. No one seemed to be the least concerned that I had fallen overboard and was probably getting barfed on. I pulled myself up over the side and flopped into the boat. Amy and Marcia moaned. Chucky stopped vomiting and was now sitting on the floor in the front of the boat. Richie, are you okay? I didn't mean to knock you in. Hooray, at least someone recognizes that I fell into the water. I sat down and started to row toward shore. Hey, Richie, are you going now? I didn't answer. My nose has stopped bleeding. I don't feel sick anymore. Chuck said, when can I have time to row? I didn't answer. My teeth were beginning to chatter. Marcia and Amy were now laughing and giggling. It was as if nothing had happened. Why are we heading toward shore? Asked Amy. It's still early, said Chuck. I don't feel sick anymore, said Marcia. I looked first at the girls, then back at Chuck. I knew then why some people are driven to murder others. I didn't answer, but I quickened my rowing pace. Richie is a spoil sport, Amy and Marcia, and Chuck chimed in. Richie is a spoil sport. If I'm a spoil sport, then you are. I couldn't think of a word dirty enough to express my feelings. When I got to shore, I jumped out of the boat, leaving Chuck and the girls still sitting there. I ran as fast as I could in the direction of the bunk. As I passed, Freddie called out, Hey, how come you came back so early? I didn't want to talk to anyone, so I ignored Fred and kept running. The first thing I did when I got back to the bunk was to dump Chuck's bed and cubby. I wanted to dump all the beds and cubbies. I got out of my wet clothes and threw them in a pile. Those girls were as weird as Chuck. That's it for me and girls. I went in and took a hot shower. And that is the end of chapter 9.